Yeah, so we can just get started with the awards. Do we want to get started with MVP?
Hmm. This is the one I struggled to pick the most.
I struggle with this. I have like right if season ended right now MVP, and then I have like me projecting into the season MVP.
So I struggled with this one because nobody deserves it this year. If I'm being quite honest with you,
I don't.
nobody deserves
As
it.
of right now,
I,
I don't have a quarterback winning it.
this current moment, there is an asterisk on this MVP season. If it's a quarterback winning it, there's an asterisk because
You got
this
it
is
just because it
at the
has to
very
be a
least,
quarterback.
like in 2019 when Lamar won it unanimously. At least that was an MVP caliber season. Yeah, he had no competition, but
Him
like
individually, yeah.
him individually was good enough to be an MVP. So like yeah, obviously that was a stiff like a bad year to be an MVP voter because yeah, it was going to be Lamar Jackson. Everybody knew it, but he deserved it. You can't argue he didn't deserve this year.
I,
Nobody deserves it.
the
Like
awards in general, honestly, this year I'm kind of meh on, except for like offensive player of the year. It's a great 2-man race right now, but like
yeah,
that's it.
yeah, I'm with you there. In fact, I
Because at least,
sat on that one for a minute
but
as
also
well.
at least with offensive rookie of the year, the reason it's boring is because one guy is
Just
so
far and
winning it.
beyond better than everybody else.
Yeah,
And you can almost argue the same for defensive rookie of the year, although there is another guy who is not that distant of a second, but
yeah. It's just, yeah.
it's I'm just gonna, it's Jalen Carter.
We'll get there. Let's just start with the
Yeah,
MVP.
but
If season ended right now, I would probably give it to CMC.
yeah. See, I actually gave it to. I'm not. This isn't necessarily a me thing as much as this is a prediction.
Mm-hmm.
I put down Brock Purdy because realistically,
gonna make me-
who on the team is going to win it? No, I'm not saying I like it. In terms of value to the 49ers, CMC is a more valuable player.
I would my
And
order. I would
there's
give
a
it to
lot more
Trent
valuable
Williams
players,
before I
I
give it to
think,
CMC or I give it to
to Brock
Purdy.
Purdy. Well, I'm with you. I think he is the definition of a system quarterback. I think now, granted, he is one of the best. Like he's like Kyle Shanahan's golden goose. You know what I mean? He's his like top student. You know, he's a straight A, like never missed a day of school kind of guy.
But I
But
think if Dak Prescott keeps playing the way he has these past couple weeks and he beats
oh
the
yeah,
Eagles and wins the division, I think
oh
he
yeah,
gets it then.
oh yeah.
But that's the big if. His MVP candidacy will come down to this game. This
You
coming
and
week.
you have to win the division. I feel.
Yes. Oh,
You have
100
to. You're
percent.
not gonna. We're not gonna win MVP as the fifth seed.
No.
Unfortunately. Even if you go on a run in the playoff, because the voting happens at the end of the regular season.
Yeah.
So what happens in the division if Dak Prescott? But I'm with you as far as if Dallas does win the division, I think Dak Prescott should be pretty handily the guy.
Yeah. I think he's
Um,
leading in passing
oh,
touchdowns right now for the year.
hi buddy. It's a cat appearance.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he's leading in passing touchdowns right now, and usually, and like, there's probably a huge correlation between leading the league in passing touchdowns and winning MVP, just given the quarterbackness of the award.
Also, I mentioned Purdy because he is currently the favorite.
Yeah,
In terms of betting odds,
I
he
hate
is
it.
the favorite.
I think
I'm with you.
if I had to give it to a quarterback right now, I guess I'd go Lamar, but that doesn't even feel.
No, I mean earlier on in the season, I was all over the Lamar MVP train, but
I was with you.
it
Not-
doesn't
not
feel
as
right
strongly.
at this current moment.
But like I said, that's just because I don't think any
cat's
quarterback
twerking
should
right
have it
now.
right now.
He's twerking.
A little bit.
What are you doing, bud?
But yeah, I right now season ended. I'd give it to CMC with
That's
Tyreek
fair.
Hill as the runner up, and then my projecting going forward is that Dak does end up winning it for reasons we'll get into a little even later.
Sure. Now, offensive player of the year. How you feeling?
I'll stick with CMC, but that one's a really close, tight
Okay.
race because like if I'd have to see how many touchdowns CMC ends up with at the end of the year,
Yeah.
and then like Tyreek Hill breaking 2,000 yards receiving.
Mhm.
That race is interesting. To me, this is the only interesting race. But
I actually have changed my pick.
you got
I think the first time all year, it's not CMC for me because I think the last two we did, I had CMC.
Yeah.
winning. It's Tyreek Hill.
yeah. To me,
I had
those are
Tyreek
the only
Hill.
two options.
Yeah. There's no argument to be had here because I'm like I 100% agree with you about. Obviously, I mean I've been on the CMC train. I had him the last two quarterly predictions. did. He's been my offensive player of the year.
It's just
And
the touchdown production is crazy.
well, you're correct, but I mean, if Tyreek Hill breaks the yardage record, especially if he hits 2,000, I don't see a world where he's not going to win it. If he hits
I
2,000
could see it because
yards.
I'd have to see, like I said, I just have to see how many touchdowns CMC ends up with.
Unless
'Cause he could
CMC
still have
breaks LaDainian Tomlinson's record, I don't think he's going to win it over a 2,000-yard receiver.
What's the touchdown record? And what
It's
is
like 28. LaDainian Tomlinson had 28.
God damn.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it would be pretty impressive if CMC had 30 touchdowns. Like, if CMC has 30 touchdowns, yeah, that's quarterback numbers. You give it to him.
Yeah.
In fact, you give him the MVP if he gets 30 touchdowns. But for Tyreek, if he gets 2,000 yards, he's in the MVP conversation for sure.
Mm-hmm. I'd have him as the runner-up right now.
Tua's already pretty high in the odds, but yeah, I'm with you. If this wasn't such a quarterback biased award, I feel like it'd be like the DPOY race would be the MVP race as well.
Mm-hmm.
Because people want to, by default, give it to a quarterback, but I don't know. CMC and Tyreek are very valuable to their teams,
yes,
and they're proving it this year.
They're more valuable than their quarterbacks, in my opinion.
And CMC,
and I would take Tua over Purdy.
Great running backs do have value.
Yes.
Yes.
When you're that level, especially because you do it both ways. You do it rushing and receiving. So there's also that for McCaffrey's game. When needed, yeah.
When needed, and passing. Emergency quarterback Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah.
Defensive player of the year.
This is bad timing.
Mm-hmm.
Because he just had his worst game. But I'm not changing what I said last time we talked. And as we talked about it, I got to talk about it on here. But this is after his terrible game. Deron Bland has been really good in coverage. He just had one terrible game.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like most times with these awards, especially Defensive Player of the Year, because things can happen, but I just feel like everyone gets a terrible game. He had his most recently on primetime, and it's changed the narrative around him. But turnovers, the value they have, and scoring off of those turnovers, the value they have, I'm still going to go with Deron Bland, Defensive Player of the Year.
I have a different Cowboys player.
This is interesting.
Well, Micah Parsons is currently the favorite, and I think what you're saying there about the narrative, I think that could go a long way. Because
you're probably right.
Because I've seen it with people are comparing Deron Bland to like second-year Trayvon Diggs. He's not second-year Trayvon Diggs.
No.
He's a way better down-to-down coverage corner than Trayvon Diggs
significantly.
was in year 2. Like, this is closer to year 3 Diggs, except also a better ball hawk. So.
Yeah. Probably already the best ball hawking season we've ever seen, just because he's scoring with them.
Yeah, he's been saucing on him after he gets it as well.
Yeah,
it's certainly helping his case. Bland, I feel like is not getting enough respect for this award, though. Not getting nearly enough consideration because again, this is like what MVP is for quarterbacks is almost like what Defensive Player of the Year is for pass rushers.
Yes,
like, by default, you just give it to one of the guys with like the 3 highest sack totals in the league and they call it a day.
Yeah,
No, when Deron Bland is having the season that he is, it's you gotta consider him at the very least, even if you don't give it to him.
Because also, I think he gets like 1 or 2 more pick sixes specifically. Mm-hmm. I think he gets to double-digit interceptions. You have double-digit interceptions, the record for pick sixes. Give this man the award.
In the next 5 games, I could easily see 3 interceptions. 2 of them are house calls.
Yeah.
Is not impossible. In fact, that's his pace right now. Is probably something like that. So,
because he had 2 pick sixes in back-to-back weeks as well. Because he had it was the Panthers one and the Commanders one that gave him the record. Those were back-to-back weeks as well. So he can have like a quick burst too, and it doesn't have to be like one and then wait a while one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm waiting for 2 in 1 game.
That'd be incredible. That'd be incredible stuff.
If he did it against the Eagles, that would give him the award.
Give him the MVP if he gets 2 against the Eagles.
Oh, my God.
Oh, Deron Bland MVP. Offensive Rookie of the Year.
TJ Stroud.
Do we need to have it? Yeah, let's move on. TJ Stroud.
Defensive Rookie of the Year.
Jalen Carter.
Yeah.
And I said Spoon, I think, last quarter because I predicted Spoon would catch up. I still love Devon with it.
He still had a really good year. He'll be the runner-up.
But Jalen Carter is one of the arguably been the best interior defensive lineman pass rusher this season.
All year, yeah.
In terms of pass rushing, like he's been phenomenal. So it's hard to not give it to Jalen Carter.
Yeah, it's him.
Yeah, I think he maintains his pace. I think we're gonna stay. He's gonna stay where he is.
Yeah, I agree.
Coach of the year, I have not changed my mind in the slightest
I gotta.
on this one. It's still Mike McDaniel for me.
Ooh, I gotta think.
They're 9-3. Um, they're lighting it up. I don't know.
Who else is in the running?
Dan Campbell, strong consideration.
Yeah.
Um, John Harbaugh's probably gonna be a finalist. Um,
I guess I don't love this coach of the year race either.
I don't know. No, it's not amazing. Dan Campbell's the only guy that I think is really challenging this in my brain because I mean I feel like Kyle Shanahan just won it like very recently, didn't he?
Maybe.
I think so. I'm not. I don't quite remember. But either way, like nothing that San Francisco's doing is
Who won it
unexpected.
last year? Was that Dayball's year? Or was that?
Did I think? Well, yeah. I think Dayball won it last year because the Giants made the playoffs.
Yeah, that would have been Dayball's year. So, um, God, I really don't like anybody because the thing with the Dolphins is like beating the same thing with the Cowboys of beating the bad teams, losing to the good teams like that.
Yeah, but they're number one in the AFC right now.
That is, yeah. But if they keep doing that, I don't know if they'd end up with the 1 seed.
We'll see. They're tied with Baltimore right now, and I still think Baltimore gets that top spot. But
I think
I don't think John Harbaugh gets it because I don't think there's anything unexpected about what Baltimore's doing.
no.
Now, granted, John Harbaugh deserves a lot of credit for doing what Mike Vrabel is incapable of doing, and that is hiring good coordinators.
Does
Because
D'Amico Ryan get it his rookie year?
actually, now that you mention it, D'Amico Ryans is a very strong candidate for what he's done in Houston. In fact, he might be my runner-up right now.
You know what? I'll just take D'Amico Ryan then.
That's fair.
I'll just take D'Amico Ryan. I think because the impressiveness, because you have, okay, C.J. Stroud obviously deserves a lot of credit, but that whole team is pretty young, and to keep them together like this and to be winning games like this, we'll talk about if they make the playoffs or not in my picks. But
R.I.P. Tank Dell's season, by the way. But yeah, that's